Der Comic-Salon 2008 in Erlangen. Wir berichten auf Splash Comics live in Ton, Bild, Video und Text aus dem Frankenland.
You're free to tell us that you didn't do any
No. There was some changes.
Okay.
Before the new coloring, before the new stuff was done, there was a second edition of my first book for the French market. When the third book was published, they did numbers 1, 2, and 3 again, with new covers and things.
Yeah. And you do art?
And someone at the office told me that someone asked for the first 15 pages to be redone because the colors were too bubblegum, too intense, too different from the rest of the book. And I said, okay, because it's a business decision, let's do it. And I redrew the first 15 pages. And because the first album was done directly in color. And then, so these are the new ones. But then, when they did the American edition, with the new digital colors, they wanted me to retrace the remaining pages because they were done directly in color and they needed the black and white drawing. So I retraced some of them, then I got bored from it because they wouldn't pay it again.
Okay.
And then they did the rest of the book this way. It looks horrible. It looks like, it was extracted or hand traced by someone who isn't an artist, I guess. And the rest of the book, you look at the lines, they're wavy and pixelated and too thick and not like something I would do. And
it looks like a sloppy carbon.
Yes.
And all these thick. I once remember you said, "Oh, I got so worried because first time I drew, I took a very thin."
Yes.
This doesn't look like.
This was just regular thickness, and it's a Rotring in any case.
But it looks like
that was with the Techno Priest, when I started with the thin one. But here, and the rest of the book is, well, starting from album number 2, is exactly the same. The only change is that we have to cover all nudity for the American market.
Okay.
So no, we didn't have to cover any violence, just
nudity. Just nipples.
Violence is wonderful.
Brain splattering is quite okay.
Brain splattering, disembowelments, decapitations are cool, and pretty things like naked women, and this is a no-no.
Naked women could be nearly okay, but a naked man...
Yeah, we live in a strange, silly world where, all the wrong people make the rules.
So you aren't totally satisfied with the new edition?
No, I hate this one.
Okay.
But it was okay. They shut my mouth by paying me.
Finally?
No, because they published 6 albums separately in 1 year, one every 2 months, and the money was so nice that I said okay, you got it. It's compensated in a way, but I'm having trouble showing this to people because I'm not happy with it.
Okay. But you will do us a nice sketch?
Of course, yes.
Okay. So, when you get your money, last time you say, when we get our money, we went to the big city and spend it on everything.
Oh, but the big money still hasn't arrived, so I want to spend it in Tokyo, so when it comes, we'll do that.
Your Godzilla collection is complete?
No, it's not really a collection, because if you collect, that means you're organized. That means you have lists of things that you have to get. I'm just a gatherer, when I see something I like, I just get it. So it's not only Godzilla, my collection is a mix of everything you can imagine. Yesterday I bought little figures of Pixie and Dixie, the mice from the 50s. And 3 Godzillas.
A Mecha Godzilla.
A Mecha Godzilla.
A Space Godzilla.
And the Destroyer. Destroyer, but in Japanese it's Destroyer.
Yesterday, as we met, I said, "Oh, you have to bring these little figures for the interview."
Yes, but
you forgot it.
We had a rough night last night, so I forgot everything. But you're lucky I remember the interview. I said, "Oh God, I'm supposed to be there at 2 o'clock, and I wish I could sleep till 1, but no, it's all right. And I have so many things to do around.
But Georg Temper, your German boss,
yes.
says, "Oh, I met him at the breakfast. He has to be alive."
Yeah, I'm alive. Yeah. That
Okay.
would be a problem. Yeah.
You have any new projects?
I just finished, well, not just, but I finished half a book of the meta-variants with Jodorowsky that was begun by Travis Charest, and he did half a book, but he took so long to do it, 2 months per page, and it stretched over years and years.
Too thin.
Yes, and he did like 24 pages, and that's not a book, really.
Yeah.
It's a small book. But then they asked me to do the opening part and the ending part to stretch it into a whole book. But now my publisher's in a little trouble, and the book still isn't finished, the colors haven't been done yet. We have, no problems, but it'll be done, I guess. And then next thing, I think, when I get back home, within a week, Jodorowsky is coming back to Paris from wherever he is, and he'll write the next story, of which I know nothing.
Okay.
He just told me it would be something I'd love to do, so okay.
But you have work, and your financial future is...
No, I'm totally unsecure at the moment. Yes. I don't know what I'll do. Well, if I continue working with him, well, it's okay, pretty much a guarantee of nice and comfortable life. But maybe we have to switch publishers or something. We don't know what's happening. And now I'm on a break now, so I'm just a little worried about what's coming next. But it'll be okay, like before.
Is Erlangen a place where you straighten out some things?
No.
Publishers? No.
No, because in Erlangen it's mostly German publishers who only license my product, so only buy licenses for my proof.
The Inca is with Les Humanit?
Yes, everything was. I've been with Imano for 22 years now.
Okay.
And look at these letters. This is Aliens.
A little bit.
It's the font because of the I use the font sometimes.
Okay, and the A's, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The second movie, Aliens. Yeah.
One thing, as we met last year in Frankfurt Book Fair, I was very, well, I like to tell this little story, because you say when you come to Germany, it's not for business. And that's a statement about our German, well, maybe only comic culture. I was very pleased with, and I'm very happy. So
yeah, well, I don't know I don't know many people outside of the comic business in Germany, but everyone I know here is an angel. So I come for a family reunion, because I really a festival's a festival. You go and work, and sometimes it's heavy and taxing, and it's exhausting. But when they call me anywhere in Germany, I automatically say yes. Because the people are, I don't know, maybe, I don't like to separate people by nations, but here I feel like at home, so this is perfect, you know.
You said when I come to Germany, I don't have to be announced, there don't need to be any preparations. I will come here and I'm sure I will have some place to sleep and something to eat.
Yeah, that's it. Because I don't know how, but there's some kind of chemistry between me and the Germans that I haven't had with others. I'm usually easily, I click easily with the Italians and the Latinos and the Belgians, but with the Germans it helps, it comes automatically. There is no effort to be invested. It's my experience. Maybe some other people don't have this, but I love it here.
Thank you. We love you.
Oh, we love you. I love you.
Yeah. And peace for the world.
Yeah, peace and love, peace, space, and everything.
When we first met, I was very, well, you had a little camera, not up to date, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And you still have it?
Yeah, I had it, but no, at the time it was up to date, because I bought it like 6 years ago for a lot of money.
Okay.
It's still
sorry.
here. But now it's not up to date, but you know, we live in a world where whenever you buy a piece of technology, it's already late, already old. So you know.
You work with new technology in the last 2 years, maybe?
Yes, but no, not on my books, because I started doing them the classical way on paper with, you know, pencils and pens and stuff. But I've been working with computers for like 10 years now, and I think the next one, the next series, I'll do all digital. Maybe I'll do pencils on paper and then the rest digitally, and who knows, because I love computers. I spend 26 hours a day on my computer. You know, my wife goes crazy. She sometimes has to pull me physically to take a walk.
Maybe you can buy her an iPod or something like that you can chat with her.
Yeah, but we already have iPods and cell phones and no.
Everything?
She wants me to take a walk because it's good for me.
Okay, so maybe I have to speak with EHPA for reduce your meals a day.
Yes.
You put you on diet.
No, it wouldn't help, because they would have to have me confined to a room or something.
Okay, so we have a new project. We like to see you in Germany.
I hope I have my new project next week. I still know nothing about it.
Do you have to go to French?
No. We live in the world of communication, phones, emails, everything.
Is this new technology influencing the way you draw? Well,
of course, yes.
20 years ago, Star Trek with their communicators, it was pure science fiction.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's not.
Now we have it. Yeah.
If you take an old science fiction comic, there are things you're so used with, and there were science fiction. So what you're doing now when you have a script and the script says, "Oh, we have this high tech." How do you draw high tech nowadays?
Sometimes it's tricky because I want to take it too far, because I invest a lot of time in following what's going on in the world, you know, on the web and the magazines like Wired and things. I want to see into the future, and sometimes I want to go too far, especially in the techno-priests. But then my writer, Zoran, says, we have to stay recognizable. You want to show people things that they can recognize and they have in their normal lives. And I said, first I told him, we don't have computers, they're not big boxes, not machines in the future. They're either very small or invisible or organic or whatever. And he said, okay, we can do that, we can do an egg computer or something like that, but we have to call it a computer, we have to have a monitor, a keyboard, no matter how weird it looks, but people have to have a reference point from their reality. Because if you go too far and they don't recognize stuff, they won't be able to understand what you're talking about. And so you're not communicating properly, and your job is to tell a story. And if you want to tell a story, people have to have anchor points.
Okay. From the point of narrator, that's...
Yeah, because he's really very crafty, he knows his job, and his scripts are very classically structured, very, very strict in that manner. He may go wild in his imagination, but the communication structure is perfect. It's always, you know, according to the rules that cannot be changed, you know. So that's what he does, and he normally tells me, we are here to communicate, we are here to tell stories, and there is a way to do it. And until they find a better way to do it, we'll do the old-fashioned way.
Okay. For me as a reader, it functions, and now I know why.
Yeah, it functions, yes. He knows his job, that's it.
So it's a great experience for you to work with Janjetov?
Oh yes, it's wonderful. You know, I did a complicated scene in book number 2 of the Incal when they're in the street, and I did it. I overcomplicated the whole thing, and he told me, no, maybe it's this one. Originally, I did it on a much bigger picture, and it was shot from above, with billions of people and Johnny Fool running among them, and you couldn't see him. And he said, okay, this is brilliant, this is wonderful, but you have to take off this picture and do something much clearer. because it's important that the focal point of the picture is the first thing you see when you look at the picture. It should be the focus of the picture, and you should immediately see.
At first glance, you have to take
you have to take the essence of the picture.
Okay.
Whatever happens in the background is secondary. You can even leave it blank if you want, because we're telling a story. We're not flashing the people with incredible art. We're telling the story. So I took this lesson very seriously. So I'm trying to communicate very clearly and not to overclunk my pictures with unnecessary stuff.
Okay, but this is a complete opposite.
Yeah,
it's a totally flashing picture.
Yes, and even the first version was much better because the colors were better. Because this is supposed to be a huge penis, and here it looks like, well, I don't know, like a box or something.
You like penis spaceships?
No, well, I never look at them that way because I don't know. This is a maternity ward, and it's shaped like a penis, and this whole part was red in the original. But now, maybe because of the Americans, they had to make it gray, not to make it look like a dick.
American market is first. Okay. Here in Germany, we have, you know, Perioden? I'm sure of, yeah.
Not personal. No, I remember looking at covers of Perioden when I was a little kid, because back in Yugoslavia, and on the newsstands we had many German magazines and stuff, and I was a sci-fi kid, and Perioden had wonderful covers. Well, when you opened it, it was just letters, so I wouldn't buy them, but I wanted the covers badly, you know. So.
But we have some young German artists living in Hamburg, and there was in the 70s there was a comic book, Perioden, very very spacey, with undressed women with spacesuits on the head, only on the head.
Okay.
And they took this and made new stories in this tradition. And the first book there was a flying space penis.
Oh yeah, well. Or also in Austin Powers there was a flying Johnson, flying Dick, flying Wang.
You're interested? Maybe we can collect one of these Perioden comics of this new.
Oh, yeah.
Interested?
Yes. Let's see what it looks like.
So you have a great fun in your work.
I hope so. Yes. No.
Like
sometimes
we have.
you have
fun.
Yeah, but sometimes it's unpredictable because it depends on too many factors. It depends on the time you have to do it, and it's horrible when your editor says it's more important that you're on time than you do it good.
Do you have any examples here?
No, but sometimes I say I cannot do it the right way, the way I want it in such a short time, because the deadline is too close, and they say no, you don't have to do it good, just do it on time, which is a business thing.
Okay.
And I have to put my name on the cover, and then it depends on what the weather is like. It depends on what your material situation is. It depends on what you have to do other than that. What's on TV.
If you have to take a walk with one.
Yeah, sometimes it's. Sometimes you're extremely happy and you feel so good and you feel so proud. Sometimes you feel like you want to kill yourself. It's horrible sometimes, but sometimes you enjoy it. Sometimes, well, if you let yourself go, if you go with the flow, sometimes it happens that you enjoy it immensely. But sometimes it's just a job to feed your family, and you want to watch TV or go out.
Okay.
You would. I'd rather go to a dentist than draw or something like that.
That's a heavy statement.
Yeah, that's a heavy. No. My dentist is so nice, so I don't have that problem. I never felt any pain with him. So.
When somebody comes to you and say, "Hey, I'm a young comic artist, and this is my new comic," and
I have plenty of those. Yes.
Yes. What do you try to tell them?
I never try to give them the whole truth.
You just spell the part of the ugly.
No. I just try to encourage them to. The main thing is they have to stay themselves. They shouldn't try to change and become someone else. they must have a role model like I had, like everyone had. I modeled my drawings after Möbius, but he modeled his drawings after like Milton Caniff or Giget or things like that.
Hey, worked
yes, he worked with Giget, and you have to start from something and then give it something that's uniquely yours, which is automatic because you are not someone else. And but I just tell them, be careful. This is not promised land. Comics are not a promised land. We're not living in the world of the 70s in France or the 50s or the 60s where comics were the biggest. Now it's a different place now. It's all been globalized, and it's all just business. And if you want to do art, do it on the side. Find a way to live, to make your living elsewhere, you know. And if I really like the things they show me, I tell them, wow, this is wonderful, let's see if we can get this published. I'll call my publisher right now, I'll send them this by email immediately. And the people don't believe it, and I say, oh, come on, I like good stuff, and 99% of the market is bullshit, and the good stuff is precious. Let's have the people see this thing when it's so good. And normally they don't believe it, but sometimes it happens. You know, sometimes it gets published.
So you're a little bit like you bring good work to good publishers.
Yeah, well, I try.
Can we publish your email address so that?
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's what's your email address?
Yes, it's my name, zoran.janjetov@gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody has good work.
Yes. I'm an agent, so no.
10% cut?
Yes.
Okay.
No. If I'm an agent, I'll have to have my share. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm not a businessman. You can see that. If I was a businessman, I'd have money, and I don't.
Okay. But you're kind of a lucky man.
Oh yes. I consider myself extremely lucky because I do the job that I like. I have a perfect family, a woman that I've been with for 23 years, and we've been married for 16 or something. And my son is an angel. He's a wonderful guy. He's a good person. He's the best student in his school. He looks good. You know, I'm blessed in a way. The next step is getting rich, but I don't know how, so we'll see.
Okay. Maybe in 2 years we can pronounce that this part of your life plan has worked out. Also.
Yes, but not in a few years. Let's make it happen like in 2 weeks, if possible. I need to go on holiday this summer.
Zoran, Janjetov, always a pleasure to meet.
Oh, I'll see you in a couple of years, and we'll talk. We'll say exactly the same things. Okay.
But then they all have forgotten this one.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Come on.
So, okay, I would like to have this in the car.
Yes. Let's do it.
I always try to let it look like professional, but I'm a fan.